Since the beginning of humankind, there has always been a fascination with the supernatural. Not the type of supernatural that includes werewolves, vampires, and ghouls, oh my, but the supernatural that explains why natural events occur. All throughout the history of civilizations, it is evident throughout their art that they are worshipping otherworldly entities, especially throughout their architecture. Much of these societies would build large structures to pay tribute to the gods or a place for people themselves to worship them. Overall, throughout the time of countless civilizations, it can be seen that religion has played a large role in their architecture. In the Stone Age, there were not many religious architectural marvels. The people of the Stone Age, however, did in a way contribute. However, instead of creating huge buildings, these people instead took structures that were created by nature and made them works of their own. In this case, most of the time, caves were used to accomplish this. One work of art that represents this idea is the spotted horses and negative hand imprints wall painting in the cave at Pechmerle, France. In this particular image, whoever created this work of art utilized the shape of the cave to give the shape to some of the animals on the slab. There are several theories for what particular religious purposes they were used for. One theory is that the Paleolithic people believed that they were descended from animals, their ancestors. Regardless of what theory is being discussed, there is an overarching theme that animals to the people of the Stone Age were highly respected. Temples are of great importance to the Egyptians. Such monuments gave people during that time the opportunity to worship the pharaohs in the afterlife. The mortuary temple of Pharaoh Hatshepsut is located in the Deir el-Bahari, Egypt, and was built during the 18th dynasty around 1473 to 1458 BCE. The Pharaoh Hatshepsut is said to be the first recorded female monarch on record. Hatshepsut Temple gave her subjects the opportunity not only to worship her in the afterlife, but allowed them to give offerings to her in the afterlife as well. Because the pyramids were able to stand the test of time, we can now see the importance of religion to the Egyptians and their culture. As many of us know, the Greeks in ancient times were notoriously known for their worship of multiple gods. One Greek temple that represents this is the Temple of Apollo, Didymia. Where this temple was built, the Greeks had a strict format for building temple design. This temple replaced the archaic one and broke all traditional rules for the classical period in Greece and ushered in a new period, the Hellenistic period. The only classical aspect of the Temple of Apollo Didymia was that it followed the classical formula for perfect proportions. Despite the unique features of this temple, it is certainly one of the most marvelous temples the Greeks ever constructed and shows the importance of religion to the Greeks. During the reign of Emperor Justinian, art historians consider this period as Golden Age for Byzantium. Hagia Sophia, the Church of the Holy Wisdom, was an ambitious project for the ruler located in Constantinople. The dome used in Byzantine architecture was influenced by Roman engineering. The placement over a square, however, yielded some issues with the builders. The solution resided within the use of squinches in a rectangular square. Pendentives resolved the issue as well by constructing curved triangles with arches that supported the weight of the dome. Islamic architecture is definitely unique. Still, it is very similar to the Byzantine architecture because the Muslims adopted the styles of the Byzantines. The Great Mosque in Karutan, Tanzania, was built in the 9th century. The arcaded forecourt resembled a Roman form, but the minaret, calling Muslims to worship, was a unique characteristic of Islamic architecture. Although Islamic architecture has many resemblances to other cultures, it is still unique in its own way and is housed for collective worship in a congregational setting. Early medieval Europe brought for a remodeling of Roman art. Charles Magna Chapel is the first vaulted medieval structure north of the Alps. Column and marbles for this structure were brought in from Rome and Ravenna. The interior was filled with gold and silver with doors of solid brass. The chapel is modeled after San Vitale. The interior of the chapel displays paintings of holy figures indicated with the halos around their heads along with the holy figures. The chapel has a cross on the top pointing to the heavens as a symbol of the Christian faith. Mausoleum of Galla Placida is a cruciform structure chapel in Ravenna, Italy. This chapel combines central and longitudinal plans as well as rich mosaic ensembles. Within the chapel walls are vibrant pictorial designs and patterns sprawled among the marble walls. Artists achieved the technique of pattern using stones in a variety of colors. Furthermore, the mosaic pieces were in service for Christian theology. The Romanesque period wrought Fourth, larger structures for religious worship. Saint Sernin resembled many churches created before it. This church is an example of a pilgrimage church type of structure. This was because the pilgrimage caused an economic term for the architecture of the Romanesque period. The interior is composed of a groin barrel vault. This is where a speech would be made. For the construction of Saint Sernin in Toulouse, a timber roof was not utilized. Instead, stone vaults were used to help create a fireproof structure and create a majestic setting for display of relics along the enhanced acoustics for the music accompanying the Christian liturgy. Notre Dame Cathedral is the first cathedral that was constructed during the Gothic period, also known as Opus Moderne. According to the Gardner, Notre Dame Cathedral is a landmark in the world of historical architecture. With the meticulous design and precise detail, Notre Dame was constructed with towering vaults, glass-like walls, and stained glass windows. Although the cathedral was created with meticulous design using new architectural planning, the sole purpose of the cathedral was to be used as a place of worship. It is through the Notre Dame Cathedral that one can see the important role Christianity played on architecture during the medieval period. The stunning interior of San Vitale was made to honor a Christian martyr dedicated by Bishop Maximinus in 547. San Vitale's exterior illustrates intricate designs of curves and the use of arches detailed along the walls. Mosaic pieces on San Vitale reveal religious attributes relating to Christ, not to mention the ambitious use of imperial purple. The designs on the planes were used aesthetically pleasing to a viewer's eyes with the flow of the details. Furthermore, the symbols covering the interior express the idea of Christ's redemption and humanity. It is evident through the works of art discussed that religion had an immense role on architectural varying among cultures. As seen as far as back as the Paleolithic area to the Gothic area, religion has influenced architecture, beginning with how it was built and ending with how the interior was designed. Whether it be paintings and caves that symbolize rituals or grand cathedrals built with meticulous interior and exterior design symbolizing the Christian faith, religion will continue to influence modern society and architecture.